Hello, my dear students. This is Hina Kausar and welcome back to the class. Before getting started, let's just recall the previous session. So in the previous session, we were discussing about applying Gauss law in different practical situations, right? One, we had discussed about an infinitely long charged wire. The second application we had discussed is plane sheet, right? Infinitely long, thin plane sheet. There also we had applied these same 4 steps, right? And determined what was the electric field intensity. We considered a cylindrical Gaussian surface, then we calculated the total electric flux, then we calculated the total electric charge and substituted all the values in the 4th step, and hence calculated the electric field intensity for the thin plane sheet as sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught, where sigma is the surface charge density and epsilon naught is absolute permittivity, right? And also we had discussed few important points relating to this derivation, that is the direction of electric field intensity will be a normal which is drawn to the plane, right? And it will be acting away from the charge sheet. If you consider it as positive charge, then it will be away from the charge sheet, right? And also instead of considering a thin plane sheet, if you consider a thick plane sheet, then the equation becomes E is equals to sigma over epsilon naught, right? These things we have discussed in the previous session. So let's use the same 4 steps and calculate the electric field intensity in one more application, that is considering a uniformly charged spherical shell. Okay, ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. So easily we can calculate using Gauss law and the 4 steps what I have taught you. Okay, let's get started. For our simplification, okay, let's calculate the electric field intensity in 3 different cases. How? If we are assuming it as a spherical shell, okay, let's just assume this is the spherical shell, charged, uniformly charged. Uniformly charged means charges will be uniformly distributed over the surface. Okay, ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಯಾವ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಆ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸೇಮ್. Okay, such kind of charged spherical shell we will be assuming. So for the simplification, what we will do, we will derive the expression in 3 different cases. How 3 different cases? One point we will consider outside the spherical shell. ಈ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆನ್ ದ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್. ಈ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಇನ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕೇಸ್ let's calculate the electric field intensity which is present inside this charged spherical shell, because we are imagining this as a hollow spherical shell. Okay, so if we are able to know what is the electric field intensity outside, on the surface and inside, then we will understand how the electric field intensity will be varying for this uniformly charged spherical shell. Okay, so let's get started by considering a point which is just outside the shell. So to calculate the electric field intensity at a point outside the shell, let us have a consideration. What we are considering? We are considering there is a uniformly charged spherical shell with center at O. Okay, and we are assuming this as a hollow spherical shell and which is of radius capital R. Kindly note down the notations what I am using here, that is very important. The radius of the spherical shell I am assuming it as capital R. Okay, and let us assume that the charges which are distributed over the spherical shell is denoted by the letter Q. Okay, this is our consideration. Although I haven't mentioned everything in words on the slide, but it's very important while you are writing in examination, whatever you consider in the diagram, you make sure that you write it in words. Okay, let us consider uniformly charged spherical shell of at center O of radius capital R. Likewise, you should mention everything in words. Okay, that thing I'll provide it in PDF notes. But for now, let's just imagine the consideration whatever we have considered for our derivation. Okay. Now, since we have to calculate the electric field intensity at a point P outside the shell, I'll be imagining a point P just outside a shell. Okay. And you remember the 4 steps what I had discussed earlier. To apply the Gauss law in any practical situation, we have to follow the simple 4 steps. First step is we have to consider a Gaussian surface, right? So here let us consider this Gaussian surface. I am considering the sphere which is just passing through this point P. Okay, a spherical surface I have considered, which is closed and which will satisfy all the requirements to be called it as a Gaussian surface. Okay, let us assume this is the Gaussian surface. And what I am considering is this Gaussian surface. The distance of this Gaussian surface from the center of the sphere is small r. Okay, this is not the radius of the sphere, but it is the distance of the Gaussian surface from the center of the charged spherical shell. Okay, make sure you differentiate between the small r and this capital R. Capital R is the radius of the uniformly charged spherical shell, whereas small r is the distance between the center of the spherical shell and the Gaussian surface, where the point of consideration, where the point we are trying to find the electric field intensity, that surface. Okay. So the second step is to calculate the electric flux which is present in the left hand side of the Gauss law. From Gauss law, we know that total electric flux is equals to 1 over epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed within the surface, right? Total electric flux here is surface integral of vector E dot ds. So second step is to calculate the total electric flux. So total electric flux calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, let us assume that there is a small surface ds at this point P, right? What will be the direction of that area? If you draw a normal, that normal will give you the direction of that area, right? That is represented here as ds. And what about the electric field at this point P? Since it is positively charged, obviously it will away from the center. That is, it will be acting radially in outward direction. Since vector E, that is electric field, and the area vector are in the same direction, then angle between them becomes 0. Theta will be equal to 0. Therefore, the electric flux equation, that is E into ds cos theta. If you consider this magnitude, E ds cos theta will take the value of cos 0 degree, and cos 0 degree value we know it is 1. Therefore, we can write it as surface integral of E ds. Okay. So, surface integral of E ds will be equal to right hand side as it is we have written Q over epsilon naught. Since electric field we know it will remain same, we will remove it out of the integral and we will integrate only the surface term. If you integrate the surface term, ds term, over this complete circumference of the circle, what will be the value? We know its value will be 4 pi r square because it is just equivalent to circumference of the circle, right? ಈ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸಸ್ ds ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ it will be equal to circumference of the circle. So the circumference of circle is nothing but 4 pi r square. So instead of writing integral of ds, we can rewrite it as 4 pi r square. So that will be E into 4 pi r square will be the total electric flux which is enclosed in this Gaussian surface. The third step is what? The third step is to calculate the total charge which is present in the right hand side of the Gauss law, right? Andre total charge which is enclosed within this Gaussian surface. The Gaussian surface ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟು total charge ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ calculate ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. In the beginning itself we have imagined it as Q, right? Therefore we will write it as it is. E will be equal to Q divided by, if you take these things, 4 pi r square to the right hand side, it goes to the denominator, and the equation will be E is equals to Q over 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. So in terms of surface charge density, if we express this total charge in terms of surface charge density, right, we can write it as Q is equals to sigma into 4 pi r square. ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ರೈಟ್. ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏರಿಯಾ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸರ್ಕಂಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್, that is 4 pi r square, capital R square. Therefore, the charges which is distributed over the surface area will be sigma into 4 pi r square. So, in place of this Q, if we replace this term, we can write E is equals to sigma r square, capital R square divided by epsilon naught into small r square, because this 4 pi numerator and denominator will get cancelled. So, remaining terms will come into the equation, right, where sigma is the surface charge density, capital R is the radius of the uniformly charged spherical shell, small r is the distance between the center of the spherical shell and the Gaussian surface, what we have considered, or the distance between the points outside the shell and the center of the charged spherical shell. Okay, so this is the electric field which is due to electric field at a point outside the uniformly charged spherical shell. If you observe this equation, you can see that when we are considering the electric field intensity outside the shell, it is depending upon the distance, right? R square is the denominator term. What is that term? It is the distance. ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನ ನೀವು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಶೆಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಆನ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ? Electric field intensity will go on decreasing because it is inversely depending, right? So when we consider a point outside a uniformly charged spherical shell, then electric field is inversely depending upon the square of the distance, that is E is inversely dependent on 1 over R square. So that you should remember. And direction, as I said earlier, since it is a positively uniformly charged spherical shell, electric field will be acting radially in outward direction. Okay. Just in case if the spherical shell was in negatively charged, then the electric field intensity will be radially in inward direction. Okay. So this is in case when we are considering the point outside the shell. Okay. Two more cases we have to discuss. That is on the surface of this charged spherical shell and inside the spherical shell. So let's have a quick review on the derivation. So what we are supposed to do, we have to calculate the electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged spherical shell. When the uniform agi charged ಆಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ spherical shell ಇಂದ electric field intensity ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ calculate ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ we are using Gauss law. Okay. For our simplification, what we are doing, we are calculating the electric field intensity in 3 different cases. Which are those 3 different cases? One is outside the shell, second is on the surface of the shell, and the third is inside the shell. Andre ಹೊರಗಡೆ shell ಹೊರಗಡೆ electric field intensity ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ calculate ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ surface ಮೇಲೆ electric field intensity ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ calculate ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ inside the spherical shell ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ calculate ಮಾಡಿ, then we will try to understand how the electric field intensity is varying across the spherical shell. Okay. So first case ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ outside the spherical shell, right? So we assume there is a charged spherical shell of radius capital R which is having uniformly charges, total charges Q, right? A point P hatra total electric field So at a point P, which is outside the shell, we have to calculate the total electric field intensity, right? So we will follow the same 4 steps what we had followed in the previous practical applications, right? First step is to consider the Gaussian surface. Second step is to calculate the total flux. Third step is to calculate the total charge, and then substituting the values and calculating the electric field intensity. So the same thing we did here. We considered a Gaussian surface which is of spherical shape, and considering the Gauss law, in the left hand side, first we calculate the total electric flux, and we found that electric flux as E into 4 pi r square, right? When we simplified it mathematically, we found it as E into 4 pi r square. So that is the total electric flux across the surface. And then we calculated the total charge. Total charge for the surface area, for the spherical shell surface area is sigma into 4 pi capital R square. So that also, both the values of total electric flux and as well as total charge, we substituted in the Gauss law, and we found the equation as E is equals to Q over 4 pi epsilon naught into R square. Or you can also rewrite it as E is equals to sigma R square divided by epsilon naught into R square. So this is the electric field intensity which we will experience when we are considering a point which is outside the uniformly charged spherical shell. By the expression, we can understand that as the distance of point of consideration goes on increasing, the electric field intensity will go on decreasing, because both are inversely dependent, right? A distance outside the shell ಎಷ್ಟು ಹತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೋ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಇಂದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ದೂರ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. And what about the electric field intensity direction outside the spherical shell? Obviously it will be radially in outward direction. It is because the spherical shell what we are considering, it is positively charged. If it was negatively charged, then it will be acting radially in inward direction. Okay. Now the next case what we have to consider is a point of reference should be on the surface of the shell. Okay. In the next session, we will discuss how the electric field intensity will vary when we consider a point inside the shell, inside the charged spherical shell, and as well as on the surface of the charged spherical shell. Okay. Till then, take care.